Jewish Channel's Week in Review. The peace activist assisting in executions, challah baking for the masses, and more of the Jewish news that's changing your world right now in this episode of the Week in Review. Hello and welcome to the Jewish Channel's Week in Review. I'm Stephen I. Weiss. He claimed to be a peace activist, but he was so committed to his cause that he assisted in having executed those whom he felt were acting against peace. Ezra Nahui is a prominent left-wing activist in Israel who claims to advance peace and who has now been arrested after admitting on camera that he has helped the Palestinian Authority in its effort to execute Palestinians who offer to sell land to Jews, which he feels works against the interests of peace. He is one of the most prominent faces in Israeli left-wing activism. Nahui is associated with the Ta'ayush group, an Arab-Jewish partnership that declares its work is, quote, to end the Israeli occupation and to achieve full civil equality through daily nonviolent direct action. But that commitment to nonviolence took a harrowing twist. Nahui was recorded by an Israeli documentary series called Uvda, saying that when 4 Palestinians approached him about purchasing their land, quote, straight away I give their pictures and phone numbers to the Preventive Security Force and the Palestinian Authority catches them and kills them. But before it kills them, they get beat up a lot. Nahui was arrested on Monday at Ben Gurion Airport, reportedly as he was trying to flee the country to avoid prosecution. It's not clear what charges he might face. The admission and the arrest illustrates the thorny dimensions of peace activism in Israel, which generally relies on promoting the Palestinian Authority, despite that government's willingness to violate human rights in numerous ways. One of those is a law of the Palestinian Authority that prescribes capital punishment for those convicted of selling land to Jews. However, advancing the interests of the Palestinian Authority to such a degree and in such a way that it would surely lead to Palestinians' deaths is so rare in Israel that there may never have been a case like this before the Uvda documentary aired. Also, according to the Uvda documentary, an activist associated with the more prominent left-wing group B'Tselem was also involved in these activities. Moving on, they say it's the world's largest ever challah baking event. Meredith Gansman has that story.
Countless pounds of flour, cartons of eggs, packets of yeast, and over 1,000 little hands readied at one pop-up Midtown bakery that's set to go down in the record books. At the Kids Mega Challah Bake, more than 800 kids are baking, kneading, and braiding challah by the hundreds. Coordinated by Chabad, the Kids Mega Challah Bake attempted to break the record for the largest baking lesson in the world, which is currently held by 426 students in Hong Kong, set on September 7, 2013. And celebrities from Salt and Pepper to Ian Ziering and Elon Gold wish them luck. The Challah Bake is the brainchild of Gilly Shanowitz and a group of Jewish moms with one shared goal.
The idea was to unite Jewish children in New York City and to bring them together through a mitzvah that unites and does not divide, and that is challah. Challah is traditional, it reminds us of Shabbat, it reminds us of peace and harmony and unity.
My friend Gilly actually came to me and said, hey, challah is the unifying carb of the Jews. What can we do with that?
Unity is also what Shanowitz says is the secret ingredient for this challah recipe. So Jewish children of all denominations got their hands dirty.
We want to bring Jewish kids from all walks of life together. Doesn't matter what you look like, everyone plays a role, everyone's part of the bigger family.
But that doesn't mean everyone likes challah in the same way.
I really like it with honey. I like it with chocolate chips. I like it mixed with honey and chocolate chips.
Differences of opinion aside, the Mega Challah Bake was timed to coincide with the year of Hakel, which once every 7 years celebrates the biblical tradition of Jewish people gathering together at the temple to hear the King of Israel read from the Torah.
So though we don't have a temple, we don't have a king, we don't have all these things now, but we still commemorate this year by unifying and doing acts of unity during this year. And this is the ultimate act of unity that you could possibly have.
Because a lot of the kids here have never heard of the Hakel year, and some of the kids have. But this is a great way to get everyone involved. They don't even have to know what they're a part of, they just have to be a part of it and feel something special.
The word Hakel means assemble, and with 1,128 participants, enough challah bakers did so to break the official Guinness record. For the Jewish Channel, I'm Meredith Gansman.
Thank you, Meredith. Finally, this week on Up Close, we're uncovering the significance of ancient settlements. early Native Americans from 9,000 years ago, and Jewish life in the Catskills. It's a bygone era that is now only available in memories and media, but when Jews vacationed extensively in the Catskills, it was a lifestyle that brought celebrity and glamour to shuffleboard and buffets. Steven Silverman discusses the diverse and surprising narrative in The Catskills, its history, and how it changed America. And then, sometimes to go digging into our past, we literally have to go digging. What we find can remind us of ourselves or give us a new sense of the breadth of human traditions. Appalachian State University professor Cheryl Clausen discusses beliefs and rituals in archaic Eastern North America, an interpretive guide. Here are some of the highlights of my interview with Steven Silverman. Both as a contemporary culture point broadly in America, and as the Jewish community, we have this one very specific notion of what the Catskills is and was, right? But it's kind of like yes. this point through which America formed itself at many points.
Right. Well, so much took place up there. Mind you, I too went into this project thinking it's always been Jewish. It's been anything but. I mean, it was a bastion of anti-Semitism till around 1914. But, you know, the first American school of painting, the Hudson River School, Thomas Cole, all that started in the Catskills. The first American short story was, well, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow by Washington Irving, but it was followed very closely by Rip Van Winkle. Where did it take place? The Catskills. The first American novel was The Last of the Mohicans. Where did that take place? The Catskills. A lot went on there, and New York City water comes from there.
There's clearly something about the beauty to be found there, right? Because that was
the initial magnet. That's why the first real mountain house was built there, the Catskill Mountain House, in 1825, before there were mountain houses anywhere else in the country. But what brought the people there, the thing they sold, you know, sort of the rides, was the scenery. And people wept when they saw it. They'd never seen anything like it.
You know, and that's also something that comes through in your book, is this idea that it is the reality that everybody was in on it, that people were buying into this, people were wearing those clothes, people were driving those cars.
Yeah, flash meant a lot. But it was also, you know, Jews couldn't go anywhere, to any hotel they chose back then. It was, the country, most of it was completely restricted. Everybody was free to do what they wanted to do up there as well, you know, the guests, and everyone sort of understood, you know, what was fun and what was interesting. So that I think that was a big part of it.
How did that even get started? So I mean, some of this goes the whole beginning
Jews
of the
going
Jewish,
up there, yeah,
because it goes pretty far back.
What happened was there was the Catskill Mountain House that started the hospitality industry up there. Sunday church service was mandatory. Well, what does that tell you? Who their clientele was. And Jews were kept out. I mean, the signs read, no dogs, no Jews. Hebrews will knock vainly for admission. And at the time, the only people who went up to the Catskills were rich people who could afford to stay in these very nice boarding houses or hotels, rich wasps. But then, you know, everyone, consumptives from New York City started riding the same trains up to the Catskills as the rich people. And sometimes coughing right in the seat next to them. And then it was discovered that what was originally thought tuberculosis was genetic wasn't at all. It was contagious. Well, you can imagine what happened. Everyone fled the Catskills. The real estate prices plummeted. And guess who moved in?
You can see the full episode of Up Close on the Jewish channel on cable. You can also listen to the full audio of Up Close as a podcast, available on iTunes or in your favorite podcast player. That's all for this week. From all of us here at the Jewish Channel, be well. The Jewish Channel is available on cable. Time Warner Cable Channel 1640, IOUPLink Channel 505, RCN Channel 268, Cox Cable Channel 1, Bright House Channel 330, Verizon Fios Channel 900, and on Comcast on the on-demand menu on premium channels. For more information, visit tjctv.com.